so the the Obama administration they're on the slow path because they're not they're not very decisive, and they take a long time before they take a long time to consider things is what they're doing, because it was 2 days ago that President Obama says he doesn't have a strategy yet, and he still doesn't have one, I assume. And I'm sitting here laughing about it as the world's falling apart. I'm not laughing about that. I'm just making fun of President Obama for the hell of it, because there's nothing better to do. But President Obama is as smart as McCain or Graham or Mitch McConnell or Harry Reid. They're all the same. He's a black guy, but he's still smart. Because prejudice isn't going to change it. Black people aren't less smart. They're poor, is what they are. And he's a politician. He got elected, didn't he? You got to be smart to get elected. And so he's as smart as Mitch McConnell or Harry Reid. And what does Mitch McConnell and Harry Reid know? They don't know too much else. They're calling Putin the aggressor. They're throwing us back into another Cold War. Look at Speaker Boehner; he's doing the same thing. And so it's the whole government, really. It's not just President Obama. President Obama, he's kind of used to it. He sees all this terrible stuff going on. He doesn't think there's anything he can do about it. And at least he's got his head on, and he's holding together. He's not falling apart, or panicking or something. But he's kind of slow to consider things. Well, actually, that's just really a policy failure. It's really that's just joking around. It's just a policy failure. They're all policy failures. Here's the Brianna Carter. Aggressive ISIS militants on the move across Iraq and Syria and making very vocal threats to the West while they're at it. So it's up to the two top Western leaders to respond, right? Well, they did it in very different fashions. Notice a few things. The urgency, their entire, even the length of the speech. Case in point, take a look at these two word clouds. They gave greater prominence to words that are heard more frequently in the speech. First up, this is President Obama's speech Thursday to the White House, an assortment of words. Most of the words that stand out are neutral. They are less than aggressive. That is not by accident. Think in big green letters. David Cameron during his it says threat in big white letters. What are the biggest words that you see? Threat, terrorist, people. In President Obama's word cloud, the word threat was very tiny, meaning it didn't play a large role in his speech at all. So let's talk this over now with our CNN political commentators, Ben Ferguson and Mark Lamont Hill back with us. And bozos is what they are. Look at these two bozos.
Huge difference. And I think it's a problem with this White House is that they always seem like on these type of issues, he is not comfortable being a guy that has to deal with these terrorists.
They're psychoanalyzing Obama. What it is it's just a policy failure. The journalists are telling them a bunch of lies, is what they're telling them, of course. And they don't have someone out there telling them the truth. Winkers is not going to change it. Levelers.
Is he reflecting somewhat maybe some of the feelings of the American people?
But President Obama, he's a smart guy, but he doesn't know the correct policies, and either does Mitch McConnell, and either does John McCain, and either does Harry Reid. They don't know the correct policies. They know the difference is that they're just considering ISIS here. As far as Russia goes, they're all saying the same thing. They're calling him an aggressor. But President Obama is a little more hesitant to be aggressive with Mr. Putin, though. He won't supply weapons to the Ukrainians, which is a good thing, believe me, because that would really escalate the tension between the U.S. and Russia.
it increased pressure on the nuclear trigger fingers.
So the president has the right strategy, but he's using the wrong language. When he says we don't have a strategy, bad idea.
Look at these bozos who don't know anything. They just know that they don't like the president.
War is bad business for Democrats. But when you're dealing with terrorists and allowing them to take more land and take over more areas and have these places where there are these problems, and to see a threat where David Cameron made it very clear, they're a threat to our country. Let's not act like they're just over there. ISIS fighters have American passports, they have British passports, they easily can become
You're overstating this, right? Number one,
A lot of bull from this guy. Just a lot of crap. But anyways, hello. You know what Mr. Putin said? He says Russia is a leading nuclear power. That's right. And you know what Secretary Kerry said? He said it'll take more than airstrikes to quote unquote Mr. Kerry said it'll take more than airstrikes to deal with ISIS. Hello. So does that mean President Obama's going to go for ground troops there? That's very interesting. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think so. You know, how many is what you're talking about? One division, you know, to act as spotters for airstrikes is one thing. You know, but Secretary Kerry said it'll take more than airstrikes to take on ISIS. And hello. And that's very interesting, you know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sitting here and, you know, my book's not selling. There are no views of my YouTube. There are no views of my YouTube.